this is our last trip to Kerr Lake, or our last day on Kerr Lake. We had learned where the fish was, learned a lot about the thermocline. I learned on this trip that, you know, a thermocline is a layer where there's no fish below it. It's a layer of unoxygenated water down there that's colder than the rest that sinks to the bottom. It's prevalent in big, large reservoirs, especially if they, you know, have mountains around them and got cold water running into them. We followed the bait this day. We had gotten out of fish, and I noticed when we was making the end of our track, we was back in the bait, so I was like, well, let's go on. We was dodging tropical storms and all kinds of good things on that day, but Erin caught a big one, and it's just a good trip to learn stuff about reservoirs, and it was a very fun trip. Just be careful, because when he comes up, he's going to come uncorked. Got a fish on, folks. Well, he come off. That was a pretty good fish. There he goes again. God dog. Pretty good fish. See what the deal is, this pole right here is over there out of that thermocline. Trying to keep him out of your line right now. Nice, pretty 10-pound fish, folks. See, he was over there out of that thermocline. Kerr Lake blue cat. I think there's some big fish in this Kerr Lake. There's so much so many bait fish out here that they don't have no choice but to get big. Like anything over about 15. So that's got all the fish pushed up into the shallow end of the spectrum. Erin got the first bite. She almost had one. He's still after it. I need to just make that a part of every video, Erin getting the first bite. I about had a good one. About had another good one. There's a lot of fish right here for some reason. Right here. We're trying to get one, folks. Erin's got one. Did he come off? Or is he just coming with a boat? I think he's just coming with a boat.
You sure?
I don't know.
Nope, he's on there. I got you today. Why can't I get a big one? I'm always getting the little one. He'll probably just come off there. No, he's hooked pretty good.
Erin's first fish of this drag. That fish is, I think, gonna get it, folks. If it ain't a small one and he's already on there. Ain't that something? I think that fish on that right hand pole's on there. But he ain't very big. I'm using great big old head pieces on mine. There we go. Finally got my planer board to snap loose. But what I got is not very big. I'm trying to do this real fast, folks, while we're in fish, so we get the ample opportunity to put something in front of something big. Another one. I'm gonna go with another big head piece as I wallered around in the bottom of the boat. This should be a little bit better through here, folks, because we got the wind in our favor. That fish right there should have got hooked. That acted like a pretty good one there. I'm gonna wait and see if that's a fish or a hang, folks. I can't really tell at this point. I think it's a fish, but I don't think he's very big. And again, he's pulling pretty hard. I'm gonna put this back down my holder because I think that fish come off. It looks like we're running back through fish again. I think my left one's getting hung up. I think it come off. There we go. That fish was laying behind that hang. I'm gonna go ahead and reel him in. I need to check bait situation on it anyway. Oh, that fish is plumb over there in that other planer board. How in the world did that thing swim all the way up here to our right? He struck at that lure and that hook got him.
Is that a blue?
I don't know, I haven't had a chance to look at it. Yeah, it's blue. It's just strange colored fish. One of your posts should get a bite here in a second. There's a good one laying right underneath the motor right now.
He's on there?
Oh no, I think he come off right now. You feel him? Alright, just drop her back down in there. It seems like they bite better when we're going up creek. I don't know if it's from the wind messing with the boat, or we're running over a few fish still yet. Your post should be getting on top of one right now. But I think the racket from that boat's keeping them from biting on your poles right now. We ain't got very much further then we're gonna regroup, rebait. And what I'm gonna do is I've got a couple big shad in there, folks. I'm gonna just do the same thing. Turn back around, go to the start of our track, run the same course, and use great old big pieces of shad and see if we can't get something big. I'm gonna go to cutting shad right now. God dog it. That acts like a good fish there if you ever get. Of course, I've got my drag turned up on it. If he'd ever get hooked. So I'm gonna run great big old pieces of shad up through there until I run out of it. And see if that makes any difference on our size and our bite frequency. I'm gonna go to cutting shad right now. Well, we got fresh shad on. We'll see if that makes a difference. Yesterday it seemed like they was biting, or not yesterday, but earlier it seemed like they was biting shad better than skipjack. I kind of feel like the running up creek was helping the bite a lot too earlier. But it's going to be kind of hard to do with the wind. I'll have to keep turning the motor because I ran off and didn't bring my drift sock. But I don't think it's blowing hard enough to really, boy, we're running through some fish now. I don't think it's blowing hard enough to really hurt us until we go to being sideways with it.
I think it's on there. Yep.
Is he on there?
Yeah. Little one.
Good, you didn't get your piece of shad yet. Another Kerr Lake blue cat. Kerr Lake. It's pronounced Kerr. No kidding. That's what Wikipedia says. It says pronounced C-A-R. I thought it was strange too. The locals call it Bugs Island. So one of two things. I know when you're bow fishing and you make a run through the area, the second time you run through that area, you won't see a third of the fish, or they're not liking shad. That was a fish, and a pretty good one. You see how you hear them planer boards on when they really slam it? Right here on this corner is where they all ride at. But I do not think that they like shad as well as they do skipjack. For one thing, they don't come back to it like they was doing skipjack. Fish on, folks. They didn't get off. not a very big one. I'm wondering, since we're getting more bites out here and there's more bait fish out here, if we should just make us a track from all the way up here, because it seems like everything's moved out here a little bit. All I know to do is we can scan it and see. Because it seems to me like on sonar, the closer we get to the bank right now, the less fish there are. And then we go to getting out here, we start getting bites again. Nice, another Kerr Lake blue. Not no monster. Be a good eating size if I wanted to clean fish. But we're fixing to hit the Mississippi River here in a week or so, so they're a little bit better eating out of the Mississippi than anywhere you can get. Hot dog Erin's got a good one.
Oh my gosh. I don't know. This acts like it's big.
Oh, he come off.
Son of a... That blows.
There is just so many more fish out here than what there is up in there right now.
Drop it back down for a while?
Well, we got another, the reason why I didn't drop mine down, yeah, go ahead since you got bait on it. The reason why I didn't drop mine down, we're about the end of our track. Right here's about whenever I figured out the bait had moved on us and we got back into fish. And then it started raining us out, so we had to quit. It's very important to, like, if you go off somewhere like that, I had never been on Kerr Lake in my life, but I read, a lot about it before I went. I studied up on it. Knew that it had a thermocline down there. It took me a couple hours to figure out where it was at and everything. It's just like I said, whenever you get on a new lake, it's just hard to get a lay of the land, so to speak, to go out there and catch fish instant. But if I'd have just went up there blind, it would have took us the whole trip to figure out what was going on. But I learned that lake gets a thermocline. I learned how to read the thermocline on my graph. I learned how to, what kind of bait they feed on in August. It's all them factors play into what's going on the lake when you get there. So from here on out is my time to fish. I've always fished fall, winter, and spring. This is the first year that I fished all summer long. I usually stop when the spawn starts and then go back to fishing about August, September. So say November December, January, February, and March is my time for big fish. That's my favorite time to fish. It's a lot easier to keep bait, a lot easier for me to find bait. They bite shad when the water temperature gets below 50 degrees. I like that because I've got shad on my local waters. So like whenever I get off from work, I can go get my shad for the next day. I don't have to hunt bait while I'm there before I fish. Sometimes, you know, like me, I work a 50-hour week. It might be 5 days in between fishing trips. So, you know, you get up there, the bait's moved, which in turn the fish has moved, and then it's all like a new trip every time you go. Especially in the summertime. In the wintertime, the fish pretty much hang out where they're, or close to where their home is. That's the reason why I like to fish wintertime so well. They're so much easier to pattern. I think we ought to go right up the center of this thing, switch over to skipjack, and come right back out. Because that was a good fish. Because it seems to me like that our bigger, better bites are coming from, and we might go up towards that building and then come up through here. But our bigger, better bites is coming further. You know, we was making a horseshoe, but the bigger, better bites are coming from this direction, back behind us. See, that was stuck. I thought it was, well, it is a fish. Was. See, that was probably a good fish. And I think we'll switch over to skipjack. Well, folks, this is the broken umbrella.
Give it to me. Give it to me then.
Oh, it's okay. I broke it. I said I broke it. I was going about 35 down the river, and it come open, and I reached and grabbed it, and it broke all to pieces. Well, folks, we're fishing in whatever this disturbance is coming up through the Gulf now. So we probably ain't gonna give it much longer. We'll probably go back to our cabin and watch the radar. Maybe if we get a window, a 3 or 4 hour window, we'll come back out. Our cabin ain't 5 miles from where we're fishing. We will see. If it don't get no harder than this, we'll keep on a fishing for a little bit. But I think this is the Vanguard. We all got like pieces of bait as big as my hand on here right now. We're gonna go up through here. It's only about a 30-minute drag, and see if we might be able to get a big one real quick. I've got one piece of head off a shad out there, and the rest of them is 10-inch skipjacks cut in twos. But earlier, that just goes to show you how fish move. Earlier, them fish was up in these chutes right here. And then we noticed when I come back, I was like, well, let's take this U and make it a track. Well, as we was coming out here to this end of our U, we was starting to get our good bites. So I was like, well, this last track, let's make it up from the ends of these chutes and see what happens. There wasn't no bait up in that U chute thing, whatever you want to call it. It has all moved out here. I guess it's preparing for this tropical disturbance, hurricane, or whatever you want to call it. The bait is. There we go, folks. Don't tell me that thing got off there. And don't tell me he's a little baby fish with that big old bait like that, and he is. Yeah. My left-hand post fixing to get one too. Who in the world would have thought? Well, I guess he thought he was getting him a good meal. Nice, good eating size blue. Fella was keeping them. Might go look at the dam and fish down there a little bit, a couple hours this evening. That's a fish. Oh man, that thing got off. That was our good one. Them bigger fish has moved out here. But I think that we're gonna be wet if we don't watch it. Like I said, now I've been here in about an hour, there is a batch of rain coming through. That's yellow, maybe 2 hours. It's in Durham, North Carolina, wherever that's at. It looks.
I got one. See, I don't like messing with him until I know for sure because I'm not pulling up out of his mouth.
I think he's on there. Let me get my board straightened out. You feel him?
Yeah, he's there.
Boy, this water's clear here, ain't it? Another Car Lake blue cat. Folks, we was sitting here talking, shooting our mouths, and Erin got the best takedown I've seen in a while. He slammed it.
But you don't feel like he's very big, Wesley.
I mean, we heard that and felt that fish in the boat. Just be careful, because when he comes up, he's going to come uncorked.
Fighting like the last
Yeah.
one I got. He's pretty big, ain't he? Boy, he looks all tore up.
It's a milkfish.
I can't believe I caught that.
Dog, I'm going to have to turn that trolling motor off or we're going to lose him.
You gotta get even that net. All over him. His mouth looks like the inside of a watermelon. Let me scoop this down. That was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. That was that headpiece.
Kerr Island blue cat, folks. It was worth coming back here and making this last track for that fish. Erin got her.
I caught it.
Erin got her another good one. That thing slammed like a ton of freaking bricks.
I was waiting. Like I thought he was going to.
Well, he didn't know he was hooked till there at the end. That's why I was saying he look at that thing's mouth, folks. But he won't weigh very much. I say he'll go 25.
Let's see. Sorry, I had to look in there. You've never seen inside their mouth before.
I got him at 24.
That's it.
I'm gonna weigh him in the net before. $25.
So it's 24.
Yep. But see, he ain't all that healthy. If that fish was healthy, he'd go 50.
Why ain't healthy?
Well, he's skinny. It's one of these old range. Well, I finally figured out, folks, that's a channel cat.
That's a big old channel cat.
Yeah.
How can you tell?
Pull that fin out. No, pull it towards me. Yeah, that's a channel cat, folks. It's a big old channel cat. I'm gonna throw him back. I thought it looked strange for a blue. If it'd been a blue, it would have weighed 40, 50. That's a big old male channel cat.
That's still pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Not good to eat, but pretty cool.
Kind of a big channel cat. When this number goes to calling me, they keep calling and calling. Well, folks, I think we're gonna call it for a little while. Get off this lake before I don't know. If it quits, we're gonna call it. Let's call it, Erin. So let's call it. But anyways, this is a good Kerr Lake trip. Check her out, watch it, and maybe you'll learn something from it. I hope you do. I sure did. Next time I see y'all, it'll be on the Mississippi River. Have a good one.